All right, my man. State your name. Let them know you on Real Talk with Nick.
Hi, what's going on, Knicks Nation? My name is Muhammad, a diehard Knicks fan since I was 18, Let's
All right.
go, Knicks. Knicks all day.
All right, man. So who's your favorite player on the Knicks?
My favorite player on the Knicks right now, Jalen Brunson.
Yeah? You happy that we
All-star.
picked him up?
Of course. Finally got a point guard. Been like since, I would say, Linsanity. That was short-lived, but,
Yeah?
I will go far and say Mark Jackson
Okay.
in the 90s.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
think he's better than Mark Jackson?
As of right now, I would say he's a better scorer than Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson was a big time playmaker. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know where he ranks, but he got to be top 5 Knicks all time with the assist.
Okay.
To say.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's not an all-star. How you feel about that?
Ah, that's a good one because they got other teams that like they felt like they deserve better. Like
Yeah.
James Harden because he's a former league MVP, and
Right.
Pascal Siakam,
Yeah.
a former champion.
Okay.
I don't know who was the third one that was like picked over him, but
Yeah.
I would say Brunson deserved that spot.
Okay. And then you got my boy Julius Randle, who's an all-star. Some say he's an all-star due to the fact that we got a point guard.
Yeah.
How you feel about Randall's game, man?
I think because he learned a lot from last year. Because last year it was a down year, running in with the media and the fans. But he learned a lot because I even heard an interview. He said that he had a good chat with Johnny Bryant, and Johnny Bryant like put some sense into his head. Like you was an all-star last year. The year before. Last year you regressed. He said you got to get back to that all-star group again. I think he took that and then he looked into the mirror. He said like it's not about the fans. It's about me and my game. I got to show fans why I deserve to be in New York. Why am I an all-star?
So you like what he's doing so far?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you high on the coach? When you speak of that, of Tom Thibodeau?
Tom Thibodeau, he's a experienced coach, veteran, a 2-time coach of the year, a defensive minded, but every coach has flaws, but it's like the flaws he has is the rotation and adjustments.
So you're not high on his rotation and adjustments?
Right now, I'm absolutely not.
How would you orchestrate it? Like what you think he needs to be doing when we speak of the players?
For the players, I think if he's holding the young players accountable, I feel like he should do the same with the vets. For instance, like Obi Toppin, like anytime he makes a mistake, he just sets him on the bench and you don't see him again. Like even though every time he steps on the court, he's producing, but then he's not really holding the vets accountable if they're making the mistakes.
So which vets you seen making mistakes that you felt that he should have held accountable?
Even last year, a lot of time with Julius.
Right?
Julius and Evan Fournier, even though he got demoted to the bench, like those are the two guys that I've been making mistakes. Like coaches are not happy with it, but then we as fans look at him like why he's not holding them out, why he's not benching them, cutting their minutes and stuff. But he does that to the young players instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And when we speak of that of R.J. Barrett, man, a lot of people say R.J. Barrett is not stepping up to the plate. How do you feel about that? Or do you think his role's changed since Jalen Brunson came aboard?
RJ, every year with RJ, I think it's like it got something to do every time when the season starts, he starts to slow because he's trying to find his groove. Because especially as a young player, because sometimes they need confidence in order to get into their groove and get into their game. But I think RJ, he's still learning, he's still growing as a player, but we like his maturity and poise as a player. Just that he just got some work to do. But I think shooting overall, I think it's starting to get a little better, even though he started off slow with the shooting, especially in the last couple of years. But
Yeah.
it's becoming a trend. But hopefully, we can get RJ to be consistent and get more efficiency, and especially finishing better at the rim because he has so many holes in his game. Especially finishing that's the big part.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about Derrick Rose, man, not getting any playing time, man?
Derrick Rose, he's a vet and he's more of a class act, and he decided to like become more of a mentor. It's not about playing. Like he got the passion for the game, so he loved the game so much. He decided to like take a different approach. Like instead of looking for minutes, he's looking to help the young players grow into a better NBA players.
To grow to a better NBA player.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think it'll be wise for Tom Thibodeau if the Knicks go to the postseason, right? Do you think it'd be wise for Tom Thibodeau to give Derrick Rose some playing minutes? Or do you think it's too late, being that he hasn't been playing during the regular season?
I mean, he could like insert him like as an emergency, or like in spurts whenever like Knicks are in like to like get into trouble or like they're in a rut in certain like stretches. I think it would be smart for him to insert Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose got that playoff experience, especially in his MVP season. I know he's no longer in that prime, but he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals, so he got some playoff experience.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would think like it would be better for the coach for him to insert him to the game.
Okay.
Knicks are in trouble with the offense. Like give them some sparks in certain stretches.
Okay. And how do you feel about Mitchell Robinson when you speak of the center position, man?
Mitchell Robinson, yeah, especially for me personally, like I had expectation for him, especially for himself. He said he wanted to be the best defensive center he could ever be. I mean, fortunately, we didn't get the chance. Because
do you think he's living up to that? Some say he gets hurt too often, man.
Yeah, that hurts him a lot. His health. Like it's always those nagging injuries here and there, but then every time he gets an opportunity, there's that. Like his injuries always set him back.
Okay.
Like I feel like he was progressing to become one of the best defensive players in the league this year.
All right. Okay. And piggybacking back with Obi. If Julius Randle wasn't on the team, you think Obi would get more playing time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He would have blossomed, and we would have see like the full potential of Obi right now at this point. Like if he was a full-time starter, like you would have seen like his full potential.
Okay.
Like we would have known like what Obi would have become as of right now, instead of like being regulated to the bench, and then playing behind a guy who averages 20 points a game, a two-time All-Star. It's hard to get to minute and find your rhythm like that. So, especially by the end of last year, you see like when Julius went down, Obi was like he was like a scoring machine, like averaging 20 points a game, especially in the last game of the regular season when he dropped 40 against the Wizards. Like we were starting to see like what Obi would have become if had he had more playing time. But fortunately this year, like he's still the same thing.
How do you feel about Cam Reddish being traded off, man?
Oh, Cam.
Think that was a grave mistake, man?
I mean, like, if you knew like he wasn't gonna play him, but what was the whole point of acquiring him at the first place? Like, it was like, I don't know how you call it, like a reclaim project or something. Yeah, like, he had the tools to be a star in this league. Just that it just never panned out because I don't think the coach was a big fan of his game, and he had many critics thinking that he didn't like playing, like he has no feel of the game, but he got so much talent in him. Like it was similar like Kevin Knox. Like Kevin Knox,
Yeah.
like, he had the tools to be a great player, but just that it was never utilized.
Okay.
Extent,
And last but not least, man, how far you see these Knicks going, man? You see a postseason run?
At the very least, I would say the playing tournament, because the East is too competitive at this point. Even though we still are hanging on to the 6th seed right now, but we don't know how long. But we'll see. I would say at least the playing tournament.
All right, my man. Listen, man, I want to thank you for coming on Real Talk with Nick, where we talk nothing but basketball, man. My man's dressing the occasion, man. And like it says on that sign, man, Knicks fans, stand the fuck up, and we out. Peace.